What's up, Lemon Heads? Welcome back to another episode of From the Yellow Chair. I'm Emily, and today I'm flying solo without Crystal, but we have a very special guest here in the virtual lemonade stand that is coming to you live from the International Roundtable by Service Nation here in Nashville, Texas. So we've got an OG client of Lemon Seed here, and I'm excited to sip some lemonade with him and dive into some more things about his business. So let's sip some lemonade. All right, so on the podcast with me is Mr. Trapper D. Barnes. I feel like I have to say your full name. I mean, that's a good, strong Texas name. Trapper D. Barnes.
Yeah.
You've gotten that your whole life, I bet?
Yeah, I have. It's just interesting how people need to enunciate the D.
Trapper D.
Yeah.
Well, Trapper, like I said, is one of the OG clients of Lemon Seed. He has Infinity Texas Air out of the Dallas area in Texas. So, Trapper, tell us a little bit about Infinity and how you got started in this journey.
Yeah, so, we're going into our 13th year.
Wow.
This May will be 13 years.
Time flies.
It's crazy. I started as a helper in this industry and just kind of worked my way through and started to really enjoy the being able to figure out problems.
Okay, problem solving.
So it inspired me to kind of keep going, and I got into the install side and then the service side, and then my career really took a different direction when I got into sales, and it made me really want to understand the business side of it. And so after about 3 years of sales, I said, you know what? Hey, if I can sell it for you, I can sell it for me. So
That's
let's
right,
go.
yeah.
And we took off and invested all my savings into building a business.
Yeah.
And 13 years later, here we are.
Here you are, still going and trucking along.
That's right.
So, no, that's awesome. Congratulations. And, you mentioned problem solving. Like, you want to get in leadership or, have your own business, you better be a good problem solver,
That's right.
So tell us a little bit. So with Lemon Seed, we've been through a rebrand with you, kind of changing up your logo, freshening up a little bit. We've kind of helped get some new maintenance club things implemented and things like that for you. So tell us a little bit about the story behind your brand and kind of some of the elements that you have and are able to carry it out in so many different aspects.
Okay. So we built, the beginning of our business was all about serving and serving people. And so we looked at some things about how do we give back to the community? Well, I had a chocolate lab named Duke.
Oh, Trapper's tearing up here. Duke's a very special friend.
Yeah. And we were trying to figure out what is going to inspire us. How can we make a big impact on the community? Well, Duke came to the office every single day, and so he inspired us to build a program called the Cause for Paws.
Yes.
And that's where we go to the animal shelter every month, and we pay for an adoption of a dog there in the animal shelter. Trying to find his forever home. And so, since we lost Duke in 2020, we've been able to carry on that legacy.
No, for sure.
And then, because he's no longer around, but customers, everybody knew him. He was, at the office, everybody loved him.
Oh, absolutely. The office manager, yeah.
Yeah.
So Infinity did a great job of, taking a special part of their heart, Duke, and then becoming relatable to the community and stuff.
Yeah.
And so you would see Duke on direct mail pieces, on social media pieces. We even got a look-alike on Duke on the vehicle wrap.
Yeah.
That was one thing that I thought was pretty cool. On the back of the wrap, we actually made it look like the windows were rolled down.
Yep.
There was a dog in the back of an HVAC vehicle, so you could see all the tools and things like that. So, but that's pretty eye-catching to people. It's pretty memorable.
And then one of the things I loved what y'all did was our guys give dog bones out.
Yes.
So then on the back of the van it says, "Follow me for treats." Right?
Yes.
So it.
Well, and at the end
really
of the day, whether we're in a marketing business or heating, air conditioning business, things like that, we're in a people building business.
100%.
And so as we can serve people and be relatable to people and stuff, so even if it's giving a dog bone treat, that's one way that we're serving people.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So we've got Duke, and we created the Duke's Legacy Club. That's their maintenance club. We try to get a little clever on the wording and stuff of it and make it more unique to their brand. So we could have just had maintenance preventative program.
Yeah.
You know, like we see that all the time and
Yeah.
stuff. But changing it up, giving Duke like a place to kind of live forever on that, and then like the word legacy kind of goes with the word infinity. And so Duke's Legacy Club, it's an easy kind of roll off the tongue. Have your people been able to find like it's easy to kind of sell it that way and stuff?
Absolutely, because even when you tell the story, like people want to be a part of something.
Oh, absolutely.
That is for a purpose.
Yeah.
You know, and if it's a purpose about a dog, if it's a purpose about a person, whatever it is, people want to be a part of something.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think that, we've grown our club membership over the years drastically.
Great.
And then even when we rebranded it, I think it's just amazing that people want to be a part of that.
No, and that's absolutely correct. Like, people need to find a place to belong and stuff. And I think people, when you can also be authentic with it, with like how, hey, we love animals. Like, it's been a super special part of our family's lives. And like, I know there's other people out there. When you can be authentic, people recognize that. So, like, I would encourage anyone to find a cause, whether it's like the Alzheimer's Association or the American Cancer Society or the Humane Society, like whatever that might be. Find something that's authentic to you and your story, and people will relate to that.
No, absolutely. The craziest thing is when we started this program, man, 4 or 5 years ago, I still get people call me every day like, hey, how do I adopt an animal?
Oh, that's fantastic.
Or, hey, we found a stray. What do we need to do with it? Can y'all get somebody to adopt this dog? And so that's just for us to be able to be an impact in that part of our community. It's priceless.
Absolutely. Well, and we all know heating and air conditioning is a very time of need service. So, like, they may not need you right now, so they might be calling you. How can I get this dog adopted? Things like that. But you know what? Whenever they do need that heating and air conditioning system, you're gonna be the first one they think of.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, and like, I love y'all did like the Fill the Truck campaign. So collecting donations and dog food and supplies and things that the animal shelter needed.
Yeah, it was actually called Santa Paws.
Santa Paws. Yeah, it's at Christmas time.
So we partnered up with one of our local pet supply stores and just said, hey, you guys come out, we'll take pictures of your dogs, whatever for during Christmas. And if you'll donate something, the picture's free. Just throw it in the back of the truck. And we were able to give, the whole back of the truck was full of dog food and toys and blankets and all kinds of stuff.
That's amazing. Yeah. Well, and I bet the Humane Society was super appreciative of that.
It's city funded, so they're not getting a ton, right? Yeah. And so they have to work really hard. So they're looking for donations all the time, and for us to be able to do something that small for the community.
Yeah, very special. Well, Infinity Texas Air has done a fantastic job of finding something that's very authentic and special to them and building that into your brand and into your marketing pieces and stuff and being relatable to people, because that's what it's really all about.
That's it. We're here to serve.
Yeah, that's right. Well, Trapper, thank you for joining me on this episode. And if anyone wanted to reach out to you about how maybe they could start to tell more of their brand story, maybe they call you or me, maybe some of that. But and I'm sure people would have a lot of questions. You're an advisor for AB 18 here with Service Nation. So how could people get a hold of you?
My email is tbarnes@infinitytxair.com. Or hey, I'll even give you my cell, 214-215-3771. Shoot me a text. Tell me you got some questions. I'll call you back. We can set up a time to have a conversation.
Yeah, loves helping other people any way you can.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So thank you guys for listening to another episode. If you enjoyed this little session, this little sip of lemonade here, we would love a review, a follow, all the good things. We're powered by Lemon Seed Marketing, and we'd love to help you transform your brand. So Trapper, it's been very special to play a part in your branding and company for so long. So thank you for being a Lemon Seed client.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
What's up, Lemonheads? I'm Crystal, and I am coming to you, I guess we could say, live from International Roundtable with Service Nation Alliance. And we're going to be talking to Kim Martin, now from Service Nation. But she has this really great story that I can't wait to tell you about from her heating and air conditioning company in Fort Smith, Arkansas. So let's slip some lemonade. All right, Kim. Yes, they're going to slip some lemonade. So, all right, Kim, you are one of my favorites. I love you. Am I right that we met at that Linux event?
I did not know about this ever until I ran into you. And I'm not someone to approach people. And I happened to sit next to you and just talk to you. And thank goodness I did, because you just sold me the world.
Well, and we weren't even a Linux dealer. So
that's hilarious.
Well, my brother had bought a company in our town that was a Linux Premier dealer. And in that first year, we were like, let's try this out. So we went to that Linux Live event and had the great DJ. It was great. I remember us sitting in that gigantic room and we were just talking about it. But
I was Googling the next day.
Yeah, so tell our listeners who you are now and who you were not that long ago.
Well, my name's Kim Martin, and my husband and I had a heating and air company in Fort Smith, Arkansas, and we have joined this alliance, great association with several other heating and air contractors, probably 5-6 years ago. We had a heating and air company for 15. Thought we knew how to run a company, right?
Yes.
And then we joined this awesome association and been part of it ever since. We sold our company in September 2021, and I've been very blessed to still be a part of this association and still be a part of contractors and help kind of give back to them what I took from everybody else for 5 years.
Yes, well, you're great. You're so giving and sharing of your information, and on the parts that a lot of us don't like to deal with, which is the financial side.
Yes, I love it. I had a breakout today, and I think it helps when someone's passionate about their subject.
Yes, absolutely.
So
it does bring more life to it than what you can give it when it is not what you are passionate about.
Exactly.
I'm passionate about spending money.
Yeah.
But one of the reasons that you're on a little combo episode with us today is we love mascots and community marketing and how people can really bring their brand together. And so I remembered that you guys had this awesome Martian, and how y'all really had a unique way of deciding to go with the Martian.
We did, and that's one of the first things we did when we came back is we need to rebrand. And we started going through all kinds of options, and I felt like I didn't have the financial means to go to these very huge companies to help do that. So I just studied that company that helps people and every other contractor in the world.
Yes.
And I wanted something different, and then everybody has to look in their environment, what's going on in their community.
Yes.
I mean, this mascot might have been perfect, but if somebody else in my our area had the same colors, so I really went to do something different. And my husband and I spend a lot of time on the road, and it seems like that's when we got our best talking.
Yes.
And we just keep throwing stuff out, and I think we just finally one day, it was a process of elimination, and playing, I guess, off our name Martin.
Yes.
And I said, well, what about a Martian? And my husband Buford looked at me and goes, Martian, that's stupid. He goes, I don't know about that. And I thought, oh, here he goes. No. So we're driving down the road a little bit more, and he goes, hey, the tagline, out of this world experience, would just be awesome.
Well, yes!
And it just went boom from there.
Yes.
I mean, like we could have stars, and we can use words for the universe, and by then it just rolled and rolled. So by the time we got home, I just started researching stuff, and I had the graphics design people work with me, trying to come up with colors and looks like that. And so I thought it was a great start.
Oh,
and we had so much fun.
1000%. We tell everybody, because Emily does rebrands, our design team does rebrands. Not every rebrand or character or whatever slogan that's chosen is our personal favorite, right? Like, it's not my style. Well, that's what makes everything so cool. Like, brainstorming with other people. Maybe the Martian at first you're like, and it kind of goes on the back burner. But then when you can really expand that thought, like, oh my gosh, out of this world service, taglines start coming and names start coming, it really makes a difference.
It really did.
So what are some of the things that you were able to do with the Martian? Did the Martian have a name?
We went through so many things back and forth naming it. And one of the reasons we stopped, because I had a marketing person that one day decided they'd found a costume. And I thought, oh my gosh, you got this costume. Now we have a live Martian. But the reason we had a hard time with the name is I started hiring people to help with that. Sometimes it'd be female, sometimes it was a male, and you can kind of tell.
Yeah.
And so we just named it. We never did. We just kept it Martian. Every time we'd vote on it, nobody liked the name.
Yes.
And so we just ran with it. But the kids just love seeing the Martian.
Yes. Okay. So that's my favorite part about these things. So remember, who's making buying decisions? Women.
Oh, it is. Yes.
And women, you cannot design a heating and air conditioning company for a dude, because it's going to be like something slapped on the side of a white man. So you guys went with like bright green.
our lime green was our main color, and I was worried about our guys thinking, well, I got this Martian, we're gonna put them on their truck. But honestly, they loved having the lime green T-shirt. Back then, the safety was the orange.
Yes.
I think they moved to like that yellowy green now, but no one had that color.
Yeah.
Our vans didn't. No one in town had that color, so the lime green was a big popper. You could see it from anywhere.
So you've got this big lime green Martian out at these community events, and it is just a magnet for attention.
Most certainly.
And so while it might be expensive to get him at first, to get all the guts going right, like to get the costume, to get the brand, to get the colors, and get all of that done, you really have to look at the overall value. Was all of that attention that you were going to be getting from him. So what are some of the events that you guys did?
I will tell
Because y'all
you,
did some fun stuff.
We did, and that's also when we learned you need to get community involved, and we started doing the chamber. And I'm going to tell you the funniest thing. We realized we need to start bringing the Martian to some of the chamber cuttings. And it depends which one, okay? Like if we were going to a new health clinic, we wouldn't bring them. But we had a big water park that had redone everything. And they did a big grand opening, and they had a bird, some kind of bird, I should know its name, as a mascot. So they had the bird, they had a big birthday party for the bird. And someone had reached out to us and said, hey, can your Martian come to our birthday party?
Oh my gosh.
And we were like, you've got to be kidding. So all the pictures of their grand opening is with their mascot and our Martian.
Yes.
And it was their event. So everybody, the Martian just grew from them. Like my daughter had a preschool, and during one of the events, that back to school, we had the Martian on the front porch or the front drive, and when the moms all came up the first time for first day of school, the Martian greeted them at the thing.
That's
and we
so
handed
fun.
out little toys. So then hopefully the mother remembered,
Yes.
hey, that was that heating and air company.
Yeah,
So
I
it
mean,
was
and
fun.
a lot of people say, we're not going to do a mascot. It's cheesy, it's corny. And I'm like, listen, it's cheesy all the way to the bank. Right?
Exactly.
All the way to these new people, new customer acquisition, top of mind awareness. It's just one of the best things that I think contractors can do. And it doesn't have to be this overly characterized character. There's
It's
other
unique.
things it can be. You just
Yeah.
need to make it something that's a hook for you. So
Yes.
are there other ways that y'all implemented the Martian?
I think the biggest thing is getting to play off all the branding and all the events coming up, like the tagline that went with it. So we did, like Lennox had the Lennox giveaway, the charity thing.
Oh,
so
yes.
they had their tagline, but we kind of did one on our own. And so one of the taglines we did one time was out of this world love. And so it was during February, so we had a big giveaway in February. So we had our Martian with all the Valentine stuff. And, really my favorite thing also with him is we did the digital billboards.
Oh,
so
yes.
every month we had new clothes for him.
Ah.
And then one day somebody goes, oh, well, he needs a girl. So then like Valentine's Day would have the girl and the guy together.
Oh.
And then March Madness was fun because then he got to wear a basketball uniform. And, he played with every holiday. So honestly, what also happened is the billboards became something fun because I think people were like, oh, what's he going to do now?
Yes, what's coming
he was
next?
evolving and part of it.
It's just, and now that you do, you're like, oh my God, it really wasn't that hard. More than anything, it's making those final decisions and then continuing to perpetuate it because it's really easy to talk about it. It's kind of like podcasting yesterday. Everybody was like, oh, we're going to do a podcast.
Right.
It's super easy to talk about it. It's extremely difficult to get it done. This is one thing that I'm like, man, if you can just be diligent and not get bored with it, not get lazy with it, make it someone's responsibility, there really is a lot of power in that brand.
It was fun. We did 2 giveaways a year, and a lot of them have families, and so we would make an event going out there and bring for the whole families, and they would always say, are you bringing that Martian? And one time I have one of the best pictures is the lady had was a adopted kids and foster mother.
Oh, yes.
So she had several kids in the house, and my Martian sat there for 2 hours in the middle and had all these little kids just playing with her the whole time. And the next day, here's the best part. You don't think of things that happen. The next day, those kids all wrote a thank you letter and came in their van to our location, and they gave us a gift. For us giving them a gift.
How sweet.
And the guys at first thought that was corny, but as this evolved, it just gave so much back to even them. They got to be a part of that.
Yes, I'm telling you, like one time we were doing a Toys for Tots giveaway, And so we bought, I don't know, like $500 or $600 worth of toys, smaller toys.
Yeah.
And we said, hey, if you want to, come by the office, pick up a couple of toys, and drive by in your van and donate. Those toys were gone because people were like, we want to do it, we want to do it. And so they would come and pick up a few dolls or trucks or whatever we had, and they would drive through because they wanted to be a part of it.
Yes.
And so I think that's really important for people to kind of really get a grasp of your team, especially when we're full of dudes. We're getting more and more females, but when there's a lot of guys involved, you know, they're not, what do we think they're going to do? Yes, a Martian! I can't wait. Honestly, they're going to say, please don't make me wear that.
Exactly.
Don't make me dress up as a Martian, or a sailor or a rooster or whatever your mascot is. But really, they want to be a part of something successful in general. So if you can show them, why did we create a Martian? Why did we create Duke? Why did we create Sailor Mac? And they understand the purpose is to become top of mind awareness in your community.
Certainly.
That is how we get new customers day in and day out, helping us stay busy. Right?
So Comfort Advisor, his little vehicle was the cutest. It wasn't like the big van, I forget which one it was, but he had 2 little boys, and they played softball or baseball, and so he took it to the fields.
It's like opening day.
All the kids loved to come take pictures with the vehicle that had the Martian on it. So all the parents saw that in the ball field. So eventually, you know, we're going to do T-shirts for them and everything.
And people sleep on it a little bit. They sleep on community involvement. They don't take it seriously about how impactful a character can be. I was visiting with a contractor today, and I said, so tell me about this logo. And she was like, oh, we just got this logo redone. And in my mind, I was like, oh, man. Because I would have sworn that she did it in the 90s.
Oh.
It just had a 90s vibe. It was very traditional. And I was like, man, because I know they just spent good money. Whether they paid $750 or $75,000,
right.
To them it was an investment. And for me to come around and say, this was not a good decision, people don't take that very well. So I did come around the conversation by saying, you know, one thing that I'm afraid for you is that your brand doesn't stand out enough. Your brand is going to get lost in a sea of brands. Because I said, how competitive is your market? Oh, it's very competitive. And I said, yeah, so this is not very unique. This is red and blue. This is a house,
Right.
you know, or whatever.
Right.
And I said, but there are some things that we could do here. We could create a character. We could create some things. And I think she started to see the vision behind why we should do those things. And it's just, it's a unique situation for people to be in when they just redid their brand. Or we've got people that they've had their brand for 20-something years, and
They're in love with it.
they're in love with it. And I'm just like, friend, this needs a refresh. A lot of people pay us to listen to them tell us how to market. I've learned. But I'm telling you, branding is the extension of the brand. You know, a lot of people say, branding is my logo. And it's really not. That is a very important piece of it.
Yes.
But it is not. It's a piece of a whole entire puzzle. So taglines and, you know, the extensions of the brand, like the mascots and taking your mascot to your maintenance plan, over to your social media.
Yeah.
You know, maybe you have Martians Monday
Exactly.
motivation, and it just brand continuation everywhere you can put them, so that people potentially in your market just make the connection. For top of mind. I think it's so important.
I think the one thing that people fear, and even when I started, is I can't afford to do this, because you see high-end, awesome, beautiful stuff out there. And at one point I thought, man, ours looks kind of cheesy, immature, you know. But what I've realized is, like other things, just get started. Just do it. And I thought, now as we were successful with it, and then we need to buy new vans, we'll probably fix that wrap a little bit.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll get him look more animated, which instead of so stick looking, you know, stuff like that when I have more money. So I think that's a huge fear of why they don't do it.
So when we were sitting down to get ready, preparing for this, and I said, I want you to talk about your Martian, you were like, oh, I miss my Martian. Well, you miss them because it becomes a way of life. I know that sounds so corny. So people don't even, if you're listening and you ain't got a mascot, you don't know. Okay, so you don't know. But there's a lot of like heart and soul into this stupid little character. Yeah. And you're worried about where to take them, how do they stand, how do they work, you know, and
he represents you.
But then anything that they say, do, where they stand,
Exactly.
you know, I'm always like, make sure that we're not doing something we're not supposed to be doing, even inadvertently, you know, walking around with its head in your hand.
Yeah, that's always a
as
good
the
one.
mascot.
In
you
front of
know,
all the little kids.
In front of all the little kids, you know, falling over and your head rolling off. Those are issues, you know. But I just encourage contractors to look at your brand, and then I want you to think, how does it stand out? A lot of us, it doesn't stand out. And I'm not saying red and blue are not good colors. Listen, my family's company's red and blue. It's more about the continuation and the iterations of the brand that are important.
I agree.
To overall
it's fun.
growth.
It's fun.
So.
If I ever start another company and continue to do things like that, I mean, I think that's where we're going to
Yeah,
start.
from the get-go.
From the
right.
very beginning.
So,
much easier.
well, Kim, if people had some questions for you, like about how you did this, or how can they reach out to you now?
Probably through my email, I guess.
Sure.
Is that
yeah.
what I'm going to do?
Yeah, so you can give your email for it.
Okay, kbmartin707@gmail.com.
Perfect. So that's her personal email, and we'll have that listed in the show notes. And so make sure that you guys shoot her an email, give her a call. You can always find her at Service Nation. If you're not a Service Nation member, for those of you listening that might not be, Service Nation is a best practice group. It's where I, McWilliams and Son, kind of got connected. We have met wonderful people like Kim and her husband all throughout these last, long time, many years.
It goes quicker than you think.
And but if you have any more questions about mascots or branding, she would love to visit. I would love to visit. So, guys, thank you so much for listening to another episode of From the Yellow Chair. If you loved what you hear today, we would love a review. Go on our social media platforms, From the Yellow Chair. Tell us what you love. Don't tell us if you don't like it, but tell us if you love us. We would love to hear from you. So, thanks for sipping some lemonade. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks.